Hi, I'm Dave with Networks Group, and today we're going to talk about why healthcare organizations care about MDR. So let's start with what's unique about this industry. Lots of things are the same across industries, but the healthcare industry has some unique security challenges. Number one being that rapid communications are often prioritized over security in these environments. The senior leadership in healthcare organizations are also often doctors who have worked their way up through the ranks and look at the world differently than senior leadership in a lot of other industries. They don't have the patience, the understanding, the tolerance for technology that many people do. That's manifested in things like passwords, with being patient for password complexity or using technologies like two-factor authentication to provide secure login to their devices. Speaking of the devices in the environment, one of the things that we find that is quite pervasive in the healthcare industry is embedded systems or legacy embedded systems, where you may have, in a given hospital, you may have a number of different devices that have, for example, an embedded Windows XP system that is very difficult to patch and keep security updates onto. Compounding that problem is these organizations tend to always be stretched thin on IT and security resources. And really making this all much more untenable for the organization is the data that they're busy protecting. This PHI healthcare data is worth about 10 times what a credit card number is, which makes these healthcare systems a very rich target for attackers. Before we talk about defending networks, let's talk about attacking them, about exposing how the hackers can get in. Networks Group provides an ethical hacking service called Full Scope Pen Test. And basically this looks at the customer's environment from the perspective of a motivated attacker. It carefully mimics the tactics, techniques, and procedures of today's attacks and demonstrates attackers' ability to breach, get a foothold, and exfiltrate data. As important as demonstrating those things, one of the key things we're looking to do is measure our customers' ability to detect and respond to those attacks. Over the recent months, we've tested dozens of healthcare organizations, ranging from physician practices to insurance providers to large hospital systems. And we've had lots of findings across those. But one of the common themes that emerged is we're very successful in this breach, foothold, exfiltration, all those steps of the kill chain, but we went largely undetected. These organizations were all spending money on security. They all had next generation firewalls. Many of them had tool sets in place, SIM tools like Splunk or QRadar, but either nobody was looking or they were just getting too much information and suffering from alert fatigue, and they just simply didn't see the activities that were coming in from these hackers. They're really at a disadvantage. From an expertise perspective, on one hand, where there's just so many people looking to break in for this data, and from the fact that the industry is moving so quickly and the threats are advancing so fast, and the tactics, techniques, and procedures that the attackers are using are evolving so quickly, they just have so much to gain, it creates a real problem for these healthcare organizations. Networks Group developed our Managed Detection and Response service that we call MDR based on this failure of detection. So how does this improve security? Well, it's designed to rapidly detect network threats and identify breaches to facilitate a quick response in the event of a breach. How it works is quite simple, really. It takes the logs from security infrastructure that our customers already have in place. If you don't have a modern security infrastructure, we have a team that can help with that as well. We take this information, aggregate it, and add in threat feeds, and then correlate it with the security criteria created by our team that's frequently updated and tuned as the threat vectors change very rapidly over time. The analysts then review the alerts that come from this tool and filter out false positives, provide context and recommendations on these alerts, and then ensure the right people are communicated with in the right way at the right time. So the data that comes through can vary quite a bit from customer to customer. I looked at an example the other day that was a small healthcare system that had 10 million logs a day coming into the tool set. Through our systems, we were able to filter that down to hundreds of potential events. And then it's the people that really make the difference. In reviewing those and boiling it down to, in this case, the two key things that the customer needed to focus attention on were the two alerts that came through to that customer. This is the needle in the haystack. This is finding the important events from that sea of data. MDR is delivered as a service. This means that there's no licensing fees and there's no capital expense. It also means that you can turn it up rapidly. We're talking days, not weeks, months, or quarters, and you can celebrate a quick win having robust detection capabilities in your environment very quickly. The other benefit of it being a service is you pay for what you need. It's based on the log volume, and you can start at a modest level and layer in additional technologies and ramp up that detection capability over time. The service has security experts, analysts that are watching over your environment and providing prioritized, actionable alerting on these events that are really designed to avoid the problem of alert fatigue, and help is always a call away to reach these analysts. When I spoke with a healthcare client of mine recently and asked if they've been breached, I got a reaction that's actually pretty common, which was basically a nervous look and a shrug of the shoulders. They didn't know what they didn't know. A service like MDR is designed to improve the visibility of the security of that environment and put customers like that in a position to respond quickly. They know when something's happening and they have the information to respond quickly in the event of a breach. Head to our website at networksgroup.com for more information or a demo of the service, and thanks for taking the time to watch today.